Rick here with the Road to Water magazine. I am tremendously excited to bring you our 7th issue. We've got some stories in this one of anglers who are just incredible human beings and fascinating fishermen. We'll start off with Chris Mellowship. He's a guy that founded A Bay Lure Lab, and he's an Army guy, came back, started painting these lures and just does some fantastic creations. He's created some truly amazing lures that you should check out. And we interview with a guy named Larry Ramsell, who has literally written the book on chasing world record muskie. I mean, the stories behind some of these fish and the controversies are absolutely fascinating, and no one knows these stories better than Larry. He shares his insight with us, some of the remarkable things that have gone into keeping track of world record muskie, and how he started his own program to sort of monitor and keep track of giant muskie in a way that the IGFA and a lot of programs aren't doing right now. How about an interview we had with Mont Burke? In my opinion, one of the best fishing writers working right now. He talks about obsessions from tarpon to largemouth bass, the books he's written about them. He was kind enough to share some insight and funny stories with us from his writing and fishing career. So we've got a great feature on him. And then we've got Scott Daskowich, a guy that has worked tremendously hard with the Native Fish Coalition to protect brook trout in upstate New York. And some of these brookies that he's caught in the Adirondacks are absolutely unbelievable. We had a chance to talk with Scott, and it's another great story we're excited to share with you. Got a guy named John Anderson who has guided anglers to more than 350 plus inch muskie in Canada. Let that sink in for a second. 350 plus inch muskie. He tells us about some incredible stories with these fish, and when you've got that many fish that big, there are some incredible stories, let me tell you. Or how about Steve Ramirez, a guy who worked for the Department of Homeland Security and kind of traded that life for writing, and writes some of the best fishing books that you will ever read. I promise you, you won't regret it. Steve talked to us for this issue, and his story and his inspiration is truly incredible. How about Dan Lawheed, a guy who guides for pike in Canada that are sizes that I can't even describe. You got to check out these pictures and see him. This guy was in the Canadian military for a career and now guides anglers to some of the most giant pike you've ever seen in Canada. Just another absolute great story. And we've got an interview with a guy named Blair Erickson, a young man in his 20s who is basically heading up the college bass fishing team at the University of Montevallo in Alabama, and takes us inside what it takes for these guys who are really college athletes by any measure and fishing at some of the highest levels of competition, and takes us inside the world of college bass fishing. It's fascinating. So Blair was kind enough to talk to us. We talked to his mother and father, some insight on what it takes to be a college bass fisherman and everything that goes into it these days. There's a ton more stories, guys. I just hope you check this issue out. I hope you're as intrigued and amazed by these anglers as I was getting a chance to talk to them. Thanks for taking a minute to listen to us. I hope you love the Road to Water, and thanks for reading and watching. God bless.